Hello everyone, Chris Huff here. Just wanted to share something quickly with you. There won't be any edits made to this video, but I wanted to share what my opinions are about the different kinds of materials that you can learn with when you're learning a new language, or you're trying to find some new materials for a language you've already been learning. Here's my preference. For audio materials, which I've written about, and they're not my favorite thing in the world, but if you're going to find audio materials, to me it's much better and much more sensible to find digital materials for that. There's really no benefit whatsoever that I can think of, or even contemplate, of having a physical copy of an audio like a CD, or back in the day with the big Pimsleur books full of cassette tapes. There's really no benefit to having a cassette or a CD. There's no point. I'm open to hear any argument against it, but I really don't see why a digital copy wouldn't be better in pretty much every situation. With a digital version of audio, you can put it on an MP3 player, you can put it onto a CD if you need one for some reason, if you're in the car or something and there's no auxiliary cord, maybe you have an older car or something like that. I sound very privileged right now, I'm really not. I have CDs of Colloquial and Pimsleur in my own car, so anyway, if you but if you're going to use a digital copy of the audio files, to me it makes much more sense. You can skip back and forth easier. You can carry it around with you anywhere you go. You don't have to think about a big CD player in your pocket or in your bag or anything. For written materials, though, to me it makes much more sense, and for my own personal preferences, it's better to have a physical copy of a book or of any kind of written material, workbook especially. Oh God. With a regular old textbook, if you have a digital copy of it, the scrolling and the going back and forth and finding the pages is sometimes a hassle. I've had this experience where it'll say, oh, more explanation of the imperative mood on page 249, and you go to the PDF and you type in 249 and then it's like 100 pages off, and I don't like that kind of experience, so I tend to shy away from it. As well, if you're looking at an index and you say, okay, how do I use the negative for this or whatever in the index, and then it gives you a page number and the page number is wrong. I'm not into it. So that's one reason. Another reason is if I'm reading something, especially if it's a course and you want to see an idea of how far you've gotten into it, it's much better to have a tangible way to feel how far you've gotten, to look at it and say, oh man, I'm almost halfway done with this. A scroll bar just doesn't give me that feeling whatsoever. If you have a workbook and you need to be filling things out and doing homework or circling something, it's ridiculous to have a digitized copy unless you can probably print it out, or maybe if you're an artist and you can have a plug-in drawing tablet. I have one of those, but I've never used it for that. Maybe you could do that, but I don't know. For me, if I'm reading in general, I'd rather have the book in front of me. I have plenty of PDF copies of books, of ebooks that I've downloaded, that I've purchased, but I haven't read as many of those as I've read physical books, even though there are plenty of physical books I still haven't even touched yet that I bought a long time ago. Now for writing, which workbooks kind of cover that, but I actually prefer to type in foreign languages over writing, so that becomes a problem because the workbooks are better for writing in, but for example Memrise is very fast for me compared to if I had to write Korean or Chinese characters. You can type in the pinyin in Chinese and put it in no time. It's so quick, and of course it has the, God, it's not called T9 anymore, how old am I? It has the predictive text on it, so it makes it even faster than fast. Also, I have a MacBook here, so typing in foreign languages is really easy to do on it. I apologize to any PC users who are still using alt codes, but I can't imagine what alt codes situation would be like for, I don't know, Russian or something like that. Probably they have a setting nowadays, but back in the day I had to type with alt codes, even to do a simple accent over a character. Let's see, so we've talked about listening, we've talked about reading, we've talked about writing. So for speaking, probably analog is better for speaking, which would be real people listening to you in real life. I don't have that experience too often, which I've talked about before, and it's part of the reason for my level of speaking being lower than it needs to be, or I should say lower than my reading and writing. I'm satisfied with my level, but it could always grow. There are a lot more opportunities to do digital speaking. So here you see the problem. So digital listening, digital speaking are the best, and those two pair together, so you're good to go. Reading, physical, or I guess analog, I would say, but writing, digital. So a workbook is kind of the odd one out there, because it's much easier to underline and circle with a piece of paper, but it's easier to type the letters than to, sit there and write out in Thai or something like that. Although writing would give you more practice, but I can't imagine taking dictation in Chinese. It would take really, really long time compared to typing in, 文气, there you're done. So that's all I really had to share with you, my thoughts and my preferences on the resources and the resource types. It's not the most exciting topic in the world, but I hope I made it interesting by, bringing up some other things aside from books and audio. If you have a chance to find someone to speak with, analog, take that chance. Even if it means a small sacrifice like comfort. Go for it. You'll be really glad you did. Anyway, Chris Huff signing off. First unedited video. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you again soon.